Hi-ho, this is Kermit the Frog, and you're listening to a brand new episode of the 12A podcast brought to you by the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Yay! If you would like to check out more shows, go to foureyedradio.com. Yay!
Hey listeners, Eric here, also known as Trekkie B47, from the Starfleet Escape Podcast and the Ranger Command Power Hour. The more phenomenal episode you're about to listen to is brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff. I have a new free streaming service to tell you guys about.
Hey, and this is Steve, and I can not control myself tonight. Hoes in the house!
What?
Welcome to the 12A podcast, where you're going to learn about movies, entertainment, and a lot of other cool stuff. And now, here are three people who want to trade the ice bucket challenge for a beer bucket challenge.
Yeah.
Jeff, Carly, and Steve.
Yeah, great idea. Oh, yeah. I like it.
But then are we wasting the beer?
No, we can change the rules here a little bit, I think.
Yeah, because I don't think, I don't know. We would be wasting the beer, but we'd have to figure out, like, what would we be doing that for? Like, what's the greater cause, the greater good? The beer bucket challenge.
It could be for ALS. It's just
it still could be. It's just the beer bucket. We're just upping the game for colleges everywhere.
That is a good thing. Right. You know, that's a good thing to have challenges for, to raise money for ALS. And
that's true.
Just, instead of ice water, it's beer.
Gotcha.
That's genius.
I just turned on the camera app on my phone, and apparently last thing I did was take a selfie because it's like the front, facing camera was the rear one. I was going to try and get a picture of Carly because right now she's coloring people.
Out of a coloring book, straight from the 80s.
Like, straight up coloring book, and everything is going on right now.
They're not in style anymore. Have you noticed that? When's the last time you saw a 7 or 8-year-old girl coloring in a coloring book? No, that's an 80s thing.
That's so old school. Hello, iPad.
Steve will post pictures of my coloring book.
So, I'm gonna have to take
So here is my old man complaining about the younger generation. Right?
Oh, no.
All right, so I took my wife to a baseball game a couple weeks ago. Sitting behind me was a kid playing baseball on his PSP the whole game.
During a baseball game?
Yeah.
Playing baseball during a baseball?
Yeah.
It's like an Inception kind of thing or something.
He was
going
at
on
a
there.
baseball game playing, and he was so proud of it, too. He was like, he was literally like taking out his PSP, showing it to his mom, and being like, "Mom, look how realistic this stadium looks. I can go to any stadium I want, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "You're in a freaking stadium, you dumbass kid!"
You should have said it, though.
Oh, my gosh.
You're in a legit...
It's like, look around, the graphics are amazing.
You can almost smell the grass.
Three-dimensional.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Just amazing. Yeah,
Gosh.
Anyways.
To a kid, it's not real unless it has pixels.
No. You don't even have a kid, and you're already like that grandpa just, get off my lawn.
Yeah. Well, I think since I don't have kids, I can be more of that.
That's kind of true.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good point, Jeff.
That is true. I'm a little bit more patient, I guess, and understand it since I have.
Right.
So.
Kids.
So, I just have a dog, so I'm only halfway there.
Just a little bit.
That's
all right.
true. You're about half. I agree.
Go Chuck. Welcome back, Carly. We missed you last week.
Thanks. I really doubt that, but thank you.
No. I do think we missed you. I think the audience probably also missed you because we had nobody to tell us when we were near an hour. Nobody
I
at
already
all.
set the timer.
Yeah,
We just went right
I knew
over.
it.
It was like, an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, well,
We got 20 more minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
Whatever.
Just like old times.
Yeah, exactly. So, welcome back, Carly.
Thank
At
you.
one point, it was like, "Is that the sunrise?"
Yeah, exactly. No,
We should cut this short and just say we only recorded an hour.
Well, I'm glad I'm your timer.
Yeah, you're at least that. And right now, just coloring. I really feel like I'm being ignored by her right now.
I think we should put some of that art
I'm
up.
a what? What do you want?
What?
We should put some art up in when she's done.
I don't care what you stream.
Yeah, I'm going to hang it up.
We'll hang those things.
Yeah, I'm going to hang it up in the studio.
Hang it up over her own kids' pictures on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
No,
This
if
is way
there's any
better.
artists out there that can send us a coloring book that's pictures of us that she could color during the show,
That would be awesome.
I
That's a good
actually
idea.
was going to email Raven Cruz that we met and everything.
Right.
It does all that stuff because I thought it'd be really cool to have the three of us or something, like a character, a cartoon, something, even like a superhero one.
That's what you had
initially
said, the
thinking-
comic, comic thing. That would be cool.
Like a comic thing or something. I thought that'd be cool. So now that you've brought it up and now that I've said it out loud,
12A
It's
coloring
official
book.
now.
it's official now. So I'm
Well,
gonna
they
have-
color. You know you've officially arrived when you have a coloring book. Then you
That's
have
so
made it.
80s. It's like everything's 80s tonight.
No,
Well, and it
it's
is.
like retro. That
I love it.
Yeah, it totally is. Well, and
Good tie-in.
I am
Good tie-in.
this perfect tie-in for the fact that we've got a lot of 80s watching that's been going on, and you'll have to check out all the blogs on 12aproductions.com because there's 4 of them up now. I'm working on another one, but I'm on my 5th 80s TV show I've watched or streamed now in the last 2 weeks. Like, I'm totally addicted. And I got my son addicted because he's watching the original 1984 Transformers right now.
Awesome.
So, yes. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Which actually, what I really loved about it, because I hate to admit this, I never, ever watched Transformers or followed it or had the toys or anything when I was younger. My first foray into the Transformers was the new Transformers movies.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So I had no idea on the backstory and all their names and stuff. It's
Okay.
a blank slate. But the first 3 episodes, it's a 3-parter, so it's actually an hour long, of the cartoon.
Right.
Pretty much tells you the great backstory. Like, at that point, I was like, oh, everything kind of makes sense now for,
Which is different than the movie's backstory.
Yeah, it is. But it was really cool seeing how they crashed on Earth and everything else like that and stuff, and so it was neat. But anyways, so we have some great stuff on there and are continuing on. So you have to keep up. And shoot, I think half of my streaming stuff, I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but I was going to list off the shows I've already watched. So
Yeah, and this is one of those projects that's so fun. It's like I really hope people are like reading these and enjoying them, but if they're not, that's okay. I'm having fun. Like
Anyway.
watching all these old and
yeah, I love turning on my TV and watching these 80s shows and being like, yeah, this is work.
there you go. Yeah, I'm researching right now.
Research.
Sammy had a great point, and I noticed it too with one of the shows that I watched, that it's not the type of show you can binge watch, watching, because every episode is the same. For mine it was Sledgehammer, and for Sammy's it was Voltron. I've noticed that in Sledgehammer that if you did watch that back to back, you get so bored of it because it's really the exact same thing every time. Once you've seen the first episode, you know what's going to happen. Yeah. It's highly entertaining, and it is funny. And yeah, if I watched it once a week, it'd be a hilarious half hour. And I couldn't wait to see what crazy, stupid stuff he was going to do next week.
So you're saying the writing is getting better?
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, you can never, the Netflix binge watching that you do nowadays, you just can't do with older TV shows like that.
I will say one show that I think bucks the trend a little bit there, though, is my next show, which is going to be G.I. Joe, the original cartoon.
Okay.
So every episode is pretty much G.I. Joe goes after Cobra Commander, they blow up the base, and but they'll have like a 10-story arc.
Oh.
And the thing is, it's like you never really know if they're going to go into like a 10-episode arc, or if it's just one self-contained
That's true.
episode.
That's a good point.
Or it's just going to be like 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it does and then it's all over the place too. Even though it's going to be kind of the good guys versus the bad guys, and they're going to go blow up the base at the end. It's still okay. Well, we're going to have a fight in Antarctica and simultaneously have another fight underwater, and then there's something going on in space too.
So in that way, it's a little more creative.
Yeah,
so
it's an adventure.
So I'm having fun with that one a little bit. No.
That one is different,
Yeah,
I would have to say. And Lady Jane's hot.
And Lady Jane's hot,
So,
yes.
That always helps.
Remember that? The Demi Moore one? When
Even
she
for a
redid
cartoon.
Yeah, the G.I.
Kinda weird.
Jane.
Wait, what?
Do you
Demi
remember?
Moore's
Yeah,
Lady
G.I.
G.I. Jane.
Oh, G.I. Jane,
With
not Lady Jane.
No.
I
But
just made me
Jane,
think of
Jane,
Jane when
click,
she
click.
did it, when she did the G.I. Joe, but G.I. Jane, whatever.
We went to A to B. We connected the dotted
I think that was like
lines.
90s,
That
right?
was
Or was that
90s.
early 2000s?
No,
It was early 90s.
It was 90s.
Early 90s?
No way. No way it was early 90s.
I disagree.
I specifically remember my friend.
I'm gonna guess 96. What
I
are
think
you
we
gonna
have
guess?
internet
I was
access
going to
here,
guess
right?
97, and
Okay.
I have a story because my parents, I specifically remember Dana, yes, a female, spending the night at my house once. We watched a bunch of movies, and yeah, my parents were horrible parents.
Okay.
And she's a best friend now,
That's cool.
And when she wasn't even throughout high school, but she came over and crashed one time, and one of the movies we rented back in the day from Blockbuster
G.I.
was G.I. Jane, and I'm sure that was around 97.
Yep, you're right. 1997.
Oh, 1
There
year
you
off,
go.
but I was close. At least I wasn't early 90s.
Early 90s.
What the heck, Jeff?
She did that all while coloring as well. So
See?
that's like,
See?
that's impressive.
I'm
like-
multitasking and multi-thinking.
30% paying attention to us,
Yeah.
70% paying attention to drawing inside the lines right now.
This is really important. This
This
is really
is
important.
extremely
we
important.
should have gotten her Transformers coloring book, and then that would have
You
tied right
should
in.
have.
More than meets the eye.
didn't
And
know
then
you were
posted that.
Transformers.
I didn't know you were going to be coloring this time. So, little heads up next
All right.
time.
we're cutting out to the time, and I don't want to get the signal from Carly. Here's what I've streamed.
Okay.
I streamed Sharknado, people.
I did too.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
I wish I would have streamed.
You guys haven't watched that?
No, I haven't. And everybody at work
I thought I
watched
brought
Sam's
that up a
like
while.
old school.
Sam's like,
Dude, I watched that. I thought I brought that up in one of our
Yeah, you did.
podcasts.
You may have, but see, Carly listens better than I do. So yeah, everybody's watching the second one. So like, fine, it's on Netflix. I'll stream it.
Second one's out already?
Second one, yeah,
Yeah, it came out in July, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So it's like I'm in love with this movie. It is
It's the worst.
the best horrible B movie
The best
ever.
word. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
When Ian Ziering runs and jumps with a chainsaw started
Yeah.
into
the shark. And then he cuts his way out.
Cuts his way out.
Ew.
Oh, it's
And he
so.
finds a
and he
missing
finds
person.
And he brings the
person.
girlfriend back,
It's
yes.
that shark that it's his son's girlfriend or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So it was great, and the fact that we can fly very closely to tornadoes, throw a bomb in them, and it explodes and
Yeah.
they disperse.
Right.
I didn't know you could get rid
I
of
do
tornadoes
remember
like
Sam
that.
talking about that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. So anyway, so I finally did stream that, and I'm in love. So.
it's one of the best worst movies ever.
really
Seriously.
The only thing for me though is it was so hard to follow the plot because it was so bad at times. Because like when they're driving through water and it's like, are you driving through water? Because it's supposed to be coming behind them, but still they can stop and go backwards.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Right.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, listen, don't watch it for continuity's sake, okay?
Yeah.
So, all right,
Yeah.
so I went from Sharknado to a movie called Upstream Color.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is as like close to independent as you could possibly get, with the fact that up until like maybe 20 minutes left of the movie, you finally start piecing everything together.
Oh, that's
Like,
so frustrating.
I really like. I had to watch this in two different chunks because I was so frustrated with it. But
Yeah.
here's the synopsis I wrote down for this.
Okay.
Upstream Color is about two people whose lives and behaviors are affected by a complex parasite which has been inserted into their body. This parasite has a 3-stage life cycle that goes from humans to pigs to orchids. And they're all somehow can feel and are interchanged by each other. There's a person who's just, in the credits, called the Thief, and he implants this parasite into the female in the beginning, and he
Lovely.
has complete control over her at that
Sounds
point, and he ends up
familiar.
robbing her. And then there's a person that's the collector that knows all about this. But you don't get why he's doing it or anything, except for he's doing it for the art. But he does a blood transfusion that takes the parasite from the human to the pig. And then somehow the pig and human are connected to where the collector, when he's around the pig, can feel the
Sense him?
emotion and sense the human and stuff like that. Okay, and it's about the couple, these two people trying to piece together their life and figure out what's going on. It's beautiful. Like, the music is really what got me, and the imagery is beautiful, but it's such a
Bizarre.
confusing, bizarre.
Yeah.
I was going to say that sounds a lot like maybe Sharknado.
That's hilarious.
like the style and the vibe of it.
Yeah, it just but it's a very artistic,
Okay.
way it's put together and everything
see.
like that.
Does
It's
it
very,
come together
very
at the
memento type of thing. It comes together in the end, but you still have no idea who this thief was.
So it's still pretty abstract
Yeah,
altogether.
it's still very abstract though. You have no really idea who the collector is, but there is such a connection to these pigs that they end up, the humans, like freeing the pigs and feeding them and building up this pig's pen place, and
Wow, this sounds so bizarre.
it was just so super bizarre. So Upstream Color, if you're really in for something way abstract and bizarre, that's the one. And
So no one ate bacon during that movie, I'm taking it, right?
no,
Oh my God.
there's no bacon eating happening during
Awkward.
this movie. Awkward ways to drink water in this movie, though. But this is the second movie that the guy did. In the first movie, I can't remember, but apparently the first movie was amazing, but I couldn't find it on, I think it was Primer or something. I can't remember now. But anyways, the first movie I can't find anywhere to stream, and I'd like to now because the guy just seems crazy.
Okay.
So anyways, plus all my 80s TV, plus Supernatural, which I'm just going to tell you right now, I think peaked in its 5th season. I'm almost done with the 7th season.
Okay.
And the bad guys are kind of losing it for me.
Really?
Oh wow.
Huh.
Okay, I spent a lot of time on Hulu watching TV series. They're Spy, which I think you talked about, Jeff, right? The comedy on Hulu. It's actually a UK show, but it's a situation comedy. And the main character, Tim, is this hapless father who accidentally passes a MI5 test. He thinks he's doing a test for a job in the first episode, but he accidentally, like within 27 minutes, and everybody else isn't even finished with the test, passes this test with flying colors, and so he gets a job as an MI5 agent, and he's just like kind of a klutz. Like,
wait, what is the name of the show?
Spy.
Yes, I love the show. I watch it.
She's the one you're talking about.
I'm
It
coloring.
took her that long.
I'm coloring. It's because you started describing it. I'm like, oh, it's British. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
The kid is hilarious in it.
Yeah, that's what I say. The kids, his 10.5-year-old son, is just like super smart, and it's so great. And just I only watched the first couple of episodes, but I'm so hooked. He's trying to sell.
Watch
this,
the rest. It's good.
I'm going to definitely. I'm sad it's only got like 17 episodes or something. So,
Yeah.
But he's trying to convince a worker that he needs to be staying with his mom instead of his dad. And he's got a whole slideshow presentation for why it should be and stuff. But it's a great show. And you, Jeff, I totally thought of you when the character Tim is taking the test because of how much of a klutz he is with the desk. It was so 100% something, Jeff, you would have done just to, to be funny. Like, it reminded me of the times when you would like fall, and I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or just to get a laugh when we're in a movie theater and stuff like that, going over the rails. Misfits. This one is not, this is on Hulu in the U.S., but it's not an original Hulu show. It's just how they brought it over to the U.S. But this is another British show, and it's a sci-fi drama. I'm definitely going to say with some comedy in it. But pretty much it's this group of these 5 people who are in community service, and this weird storm comes in, and it gives them these weird superpowers. And they're slowly figuring out what they are, and then other people around also have these superpowers. But they're total misfits. Like, I mean, they're, in jail for either prostitution or stealing or drugs or whatever, but now all of a sudden they have these superpowers, and they're trying to figure out what to do with them, whether they should be good or bad or anything like that. It's okay. I'll tell you, the second episode definitely had like this dramatic moment where I was like, wow, this is actually like touching me, type of thing. So I don't know if I'm going to be hooked on that.
What was that one called again?
Misfits.
Misfits, okay.
What I'm going to be hooked on, and Jeff, I want you to watch the first episode of the show at least, is Quick Draw. This is a Hulu original show, and it's about a new sheriff in town of Great Bend, Kansas in 1875, and he is graduated 376th in his class at Harvard.
Oh my God,
that's exactly what he says in the show. But he's bringing the new science of forensics to this little podunk town, and it's a half-an-hour comedy. I fell in love in the first 10 minutes, and then I fell in love even more when I found out this entire show is improvised.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes. I was reading up on the creators of the show, and I can't remember the 2 names, but it's a couple, and they improvised the whole show. So they purposely have gotten actors who do know improvisation and the ones that have not, and they got straight
Mix
people in
them
comedy because they
that's
don't want it to
great.
all be about the joke. But the scenes are completely improvised. There is no written word script for this show.
So the editing must be crazy.
It's got to be crazy, and they've got to have a really good outline for it, as we all know, because we do improvised films. But it comes across beautifully. Like just the opening scene when the sheriff and his wife and then his deputy are standing there talking about this body and trying to figure out how the body died. I mean, now that I know this is improvised, I want to rewatch the first 3 episodes that I've watched. But it's great. It's a half-hour show. It's a Western comedy. And I think everybody here would love it just for the comedy fact. But because I know it's improvised now, I'm totally in love with it.
That's great. Yeah, I'm looking that one up right now. I'm really excited. It's only on Hulu though.
It's only on Hulu. It's a Hulu only. If you need, I may or may not have my username and password available for you to consume with.
Okay.
So
we'll talk more about this offline.
And the last thing I streamed was a freaking movie last night that, damn it, Carly made me watch, and
It was worth it.
I cried. It was despicable. It was sad. It was overly dramatic.
beautiful.
It was beautifully done, and it was Atonement with James McAvoy and Keira Knightley. It was
and
beautiful.
Benedict Cumberbatch is in it, okay?
Okay, mustached version of Benedict Cumberbatch who likes to rape women.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Girls, okay? Creepy.
Girls, not women.
Not women, girls.
Oh, wow.
So anyways,
It's a dark film.
it is
I
a
won't be
very
watching
it is a dark
Oh, it's
film.
only one scene.
It's so wonderfully done though, the whole love story, but I tell you what, I think I told Carla this. It wasn't until the last 10 minutes when you find out everything that really happened that I actually cried. I just and I watched this late last night and I just couldn't get to sleep. I was depressed
Haunted by
almost
it, I'm
and
sure.
haunted by this sad love story,
Yeah.
this fact that they only had this one little moment, and it wasn't the whole thing you
And
thought it was.
it's amazing that
And-
of one moment they did a 2.5-hour film.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Yeah, and there's a great and it
Sounds like a terrible movie.
It
I
really
don't know if you
does
would find-
sound terrible. I
It
remember
does.
like seeing the previews going like, I don't know if this gets any better or worse. And
Right.
Carl convinced me to see it, and I'm so grateful he did, and we own it now. It's worth seeing.
And what I loved was I went away from this. The story was not necessarily about James McAvoy and Keira Knightley's character. It was about Keira
I
Knightley's
know.
younger sister, right?
Yeah, her last name is Ronan in real life.
In real life, I can't remember her name. I couldn't
Does
remember
that
her name.
have any
but,
effect on your Ronin?
but her name and her character's name is Bryony, and she starts off very young, and you end up following her till she's like in her 60s
Yeah.
in this thing. And it's actually, you don't think so, but it's actually her whole character.
It's like
arc.
more her story.
It's more her story and what she's dealing with, which I thought that was what was really cool and wrapped it up. But that's also what made me cry at the end.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Number one, where did you stream it at?
That was a Google Play.
It was, okay.
That was a Google Play. Yep, was what that one was. So
And number two, is it a Second Base for a Dollar movie?
Yeah, I have a Second Base for a Dollar movie that's just a straight up comedy,
Right.
For a different type of a test I'm going to talk about during Second Base. But this, I would call this a Second Base for a Dollar
Okay.
movie because it's going to make you want to have that one moment with that person, even if you never see that person
I know
again.
it. I know
You
it.
want
It's
that
such
one
a strong connection.
moment and that one connection with that person, which was like 25 minutes into this 2-hour movie. You know, this one.
And it was
moment.
only like a minute
Yeah.
long.
Was it?
if
Yeah.
that.
And it was beautiful though. In
Sounds
the library.
unbelievable, but
God.
it was beautiful. And
Yeah.
it's because how they work up to that moment makes it so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what's funny or ironic is that Carly was over here talking about this dark comedy while she's coloring.
Pretty vibrant colors.
It's like that's ironic, or that's
Yeah, there's something about that.
There's
Okay,
something there.
well, I just went on for like 10 minutes about what I streamed.
Yes, you
I'm
did.
done now. I'm shutting up. Next,
Carly?
All right, I streamed.
coloring books down.
No, it's not down. I just put my notes on top of it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna
Yeah, come
lighten
on,
the
Steve.
mood, and I watched a stand-up. John Mulaney. I don't know how to say it. Baloney. But it's on Netflix. John Maloney. I think it's Mulaney actually. It's called "I'm New in Town." It's from 2012, and I am one of those people that. My husband loves stand-up, so he's always like, let's watch this one, let's watch this. And
we've
I'm
talked
always
a lot
like,
about stand-up.
oh my God. Okay, I'll watch it. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I love it. And I really loved this guy. And I found myself relating to him, actually. I feel like we might have had similar childhoods, but he made it really funny. I would rather have that side of childhood than
You make it really
than
sad.
my own. Not that mine is bad, but his was hilarious. So, okay. So I watched that stand-up. I recommend it. It's actually an hour long. No commercials. It's great. Obviously, it's Netflix, Carly. Okay. I watched my normal shows that none of you would like, that are like Switched at Birth. I'm finally caught up to the real life one. And then yesterday was the last episode until next season. So I was like, damn it. Just when I caught up, it's over. That was kind of depressing. I watched Witches of East End on, yes, Lifetime.
Lifetime
Yeah, you
television for
brought that up.
Carly.
Yeah, is it still good? You still enjoying it?
I still love it. It's like Carl walked through the room when I was watching it. He goes, "Are you serious?" Because it was like a cheesy effect, like a try to be. It was like, I don't know. It was like someone doing a spell and like someone turns into something. He's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, you have to see past the cheesiness. And he's like, I don't know if I can. I'm like, it's because you're a dumb American. That's why you don't get it. And then I realized, wait, I'm a dumb American too. But I can still get past it. I can, you know.
Carly throws Jeff and I into dumb American quite a bit, I'm sure. In her head, she may not say it out loud. I know we're in the dumb
I think
American
she goes
bucket.
home after the podcast going, God, this is such dumb white Americans.
Stupid white boys.
What?
No,
if I wasn't there to
don't.
mix it up for them.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm going to go home to my
Don't even
intelligent
need me.
Asian husband.
Right?
No. He just got called a dumb American too. He's in our same
he's
bucket.
a dumb American
No, but that's
Asian.
what she says to herself when she leaves this place.
Yeah,
At least,
exactly.
yeah, it's a step above from those white guys.
Yeah, just barely one step though. I'm
No,
just saying.
It's not.
I also streamed Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's just honestly one of my favorite shows now. I know we talked
Oh, yeah.
briefly
So
about
good.
that at the
Carly's
party.
birthday party where there was like a bunch of people. She flipped over to like the Cardinals games so everybody would be happy watching the football preseason game.
Yeah.
And it was between, and she had to stop. There's two things recording, so she either had to stop Carl's UFC fight or her reruns of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
And yes, they were reruns.
And she, you could see one half of her was like the loving, supportive. Well, oh, I want my husband to have the thing, and then she was like,
It's my birthday, damn it.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is my goddamn
Yes,
birthday.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we ended up watching UFC at the last part of it, of the birthday party.
So that
yeah.
means my show
Your show.
got kicked to the shitter. But
Which is
I
such a
love
good
the show,
show.
and I don't know if you guys know, but the captain that plays in it just won an Emmy for the show.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
So, yeah.
Oh, we did?
Nice.
Yes, in fact, the writers got Emmys. Like, it's got so many awards. The show is like,
Yeah,
happening.
well, I did good at the Golden Globes this year, and Andy Samberg got Best Actor, and I think the show got Best.
it's just so refreshingly funny, and a lot of it is improv.
Yeah, and I'm surprised, and I'm loving the fact everybody else loves it, because a lot of times when I fall in love with something like that, it's not going to last, you
Yeah,
know?
I
And I
know.
totally fell in
You're,
love with
like,
it in the first few
hanging
episodes.
on
Just
and-
great characters and great, refreshing comedy.
There's a new movie coming out, which I'm super excited for, because I'm obsessed with two really great men, and not one
And
of
it's
them
not
is
Jeff or Steve
or my husband.
or Carl.
Okay,
or
it's
Sammy,
Sam.
Or, yeah.
Yes. Finally, she admits it.
Okay. So,
That would be incest for siblings. Okay, I'm obsessed with two men.
Just two?
Just two. Like, really
I call
obsessed.
bullshit.
Whatever. Howard Hughes is one, but we're not talking about him. It's Stephen Hawking. And, Stephen's still alive. But I know, I get the weird looks, but I am quite obsessed with him and what he stands for. And I'm not saying because he's atheist, because a lot of people have issues with that. And I have no idea why. But I have, like, a 5-hour DVD documentary at home I watch. Well, there's a couple... ones that are out on Netflix right now that one of them Benedict Cumberbatch narrates as the voice of him, so you don't have to listen to his like. Because
I was going to say, do you like the computer
no,
voice?
I don't like that
'Cause
at all.
I can do some stuff here.
because I can do
Don't, please don't.
It was really just a 20-minute show, but it's like 7 hours of typing.
Exactly. Like, I can't handle it, but he's such an amazing human being. And I watched a couple of the ones I hadn't watched. And there's a new movie coming out this November called Theory of Everything. And it's about his life, but it's actually his ex-wife's. Partly she wrote it. So it's kind of like a collaboration, if you will.
If there's a biography coming out about you, do you really want your ex-wife to write
They're
it?
really good friends still.
Okay.
They have a healthy separated relationship. Well, I mean, considering how like special needs he became, I think it might be different than like you and Shireen splitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little different. No
There's
offense.
people who would argue that I'm fairly special.
That's true. That's true. That is all that I streamed. My next thing I'm going to do is when you guys are ready to do obsessions, I have 10 facts about my new obsession. It's not a new obsession.
No, you only have two guys that you obsess over, so...
No,
you
I
kinda-
guess then
you
it
painted
would be
yourself
new.
into a
No,
corner.
it's one that
No.
Steve and I obsess over.
We both obsess over.
Yeah, but it's
This
still an
person.
obsession, and she only has two slots
I think
now.
Jeff. I think she has more than two.
Oh.
Let's be
That was
honest.
just.
I could name at least
for the
4 more off the
conversation's
top of my
sake.
head
Yeah,
right
that was
now.
just for
The
conversation's
fact
sake.
that Sam is telling you that, come on now.
Let's just
And one of them is me.
And Sam
even
is
though-
one of them. Sarah.
Which is terrible, because of the two of us, I'm the one who's married, and I think Sam would be the better husband.
That's awful.
Jeff, you're good. You're
a
good.
good man. I'm
You
sure
are.
you'd be great.
All right,
Sorry, babe.
Jeff, what did you stream? Anything, or are you done?
Yeah, I streamed tons of 80s stuff. In fact, looking at my list, everything except, Sharknado and a couple other little things. So the one that I really want to talk about, so Shireen and I will have these nights where we'll sit down and we'll just want to watch like old shows that we watched when we were kids. So like we'll sit down and be like, all right, what do you want to watch? What do you remember as a kid? And be like, Wild and Crazy Kids. All right, you can pull this stuff up on YouTube. Gummy Bears, the cartoon. Yeah, let's pull that up, right? And so we had one of those the other night, and I picked Alf, and she.
Oh
picked,
my God, Alf.
Cool.
Yeah, and she picked the Jeffersons.
Oh, I love that show.
But I never really got into the Jeffersons. Like I was aware of it. I'm sure I watched little clips here and there, but.
You weren't into it.
Yeah, I didn't. I really remember nothing about the show other than the guy and the premise and the song. You know.
Wait, I can do the car noise.
Moving
that
on up.
They're, you know how they fly in the air? You know what I'm talking about? Yes.
Not the Jeffersons, not the Jetsons.
Oh, damn it. I don't like the Jeffersons.
Just continue coloring.
I don't like the Jeffersons.
Continue
I
coloring.
like the Jetsons.
I like the Jetsons, though.
The Jetsons.
I'm like a car in the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
No, wrong show. My bad. I'm going back to coloring.
Awesome.
Yes, color.
Please continue your
Jeffersons.
coloring.
That's a great show.
The
Not
Jeffersons.
a futuristic space cartoon.
Is that 90s? I'm sorry.
No, it was Jeffersons. That was
80s.
No, the Jetsons.
Jetsons isn't earlier than that.
Anyway,
Is
so
it
you watched
really?
the Jeffersons.
Yeah, so I watched the Jeffersons, which was, by the way, the #1 sitcom the year I was born.
Wow,
Yes.
awesome.
So
It's a great show.
Yeah, so we got excited. So I went down to Fry's Electronics and bought seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. For seasons 1 and 2 for like $8.
Wow.
And I look on the back and it says, this is 15 hours of entertainment, which means I spent about 50 cents per hour of entertainment, which
That's
is
so awesome.
about as good as it can get, right?
Yeah,
You don't
that's
get much
good.
cheaper than that in the 2000s and 14s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. So
That is cool.
Yeah. So we've been hammering our way through that, and it's fun. And what's interesting is it's a really funny show, but it'll tackle like some serious issues and stuff here and there, which is really pretty cool. And I remember, and there's stuff on there too that you're like, wow, you would never get away with that in today's
No.
television. Like in this one episode, his buddy, and this was season 1, so this would be, it started 77 around there. And it lasted a long time, about 10 years, something like that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and so there's this episode where his a buddy from when he was a kid tries to blackmail him to get some money from him because he knows his old pal is rich.
Okay.
And so finally he calls him out. He's kicking him out of his house, and this loser friend of his calls him the N-word twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I about jumped out of my seat, and Shireen was laughing about me but yeah, it's like, wow, you'd never get away with it. But at the same time, that's real.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not.
Especially back then.
Yeah.
I mean, that came out of Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
It was a spinoff of Archie Bunker. And I mean, that was a pretty racy show too for
Right.
the time, or at least today it would be. Back then it was like they dealt with a lot of really important topics, like you said. So
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because the creator of the show actually, so obviously he created Archie Bunker, and he created the Jeffersons, and he created. Let me see. His name was Norman Lear. He developed the show, but he had developed like All in the Family, Sanford and Sons, One Day at a Time, the Jeffersons, Good Times, Maude. So he's a real activist. So he's really responsible for the African American presence on television and
That's really
the
cool.
show and stuff like that. So his influence and his stamp on television is pretty significant.
have you ever seen any Maude
No,
TV show?
good.
That's another one too because it was the strong lead female character.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
Which back in those days it was
Yeah,
all male
no.
dominated,
Yeah.
white guys. And here she was a very strong female, and it was hilarious. I mean,
yeah,
if you ever get a chance to watch that, it's pretty funny too, and it's got a similar vibe
yeah.
to like those other shows that he did.
Right.
So he's pretty groundbreaking.
He was a
then.
groundbreaker, I
Wow.
think, big time.
And it's kind of interesting that some of those topics are still around, even
Yeah.
though we've come a long way. Like I heard a quote from Joss Whedon. Someone asked him, "Why do you so frequently write stories with strong female leads?" And he goes, "Because you're still asking me that question."
Yeah, exactly.
was like,
That's a
"Ah,
good
Nicely
point.
done.
Okay.
All right.
All right, clever boy. So yeah, I watched that. Been watching a lot of 80s shows, picking up what I can. I was still watching Cheers and G.I. Joe. Pulled up Airwolf, and obviously was watching a lot of Knight Rider. And then I also pulled up Quantum Leap and watched a bit of
yeah.
that.
Oh, wow.
So that was, and what's interesting is I watched like the pilot, and they do a terrible job like setting up the show on the pilot.
That's how the A-Team was.
Yeah.
It was horrible, the pilot
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just goes to show you how I mean, I don't know how they did right away, but I'm trying to focus with Carly's pencils being like
I know,
a
it's
very
like-
short attention span, you know.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sounds like
But yeah,
never mind.
you know, if the shows don't perform well, I mean, they're so canned so quickly. And like Cheers was terrible in the first season, and if you watched the Jeffersons, like it started good, and then it got really bad. Like it fell out of the top 20, and then it came back up and was number 4, and then it dipped back down again. And it's like they just believed in the
Wow.
show. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's impressive.
Props to them.
All right. So of everything we streamed here, do you have any more?
I also watched Witness with Harrison Ford, the little
Oh
weird
yeah.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So of everything here, then, the only thing I want to leave you all with is I want you all to watch the first episode of Quick Draw because I know Jeff, you'll love it, but I think everybody listening needs to watch it because I'm really impressed with the improvised
Okay.
thing. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
That's a Hulu only.
it's a Hulu
Okay.
only, yes. Yep.
yeah, and we'll post
Hulu
Steve's
original.
login credentials at the
Oh, Jeff, I have a
12A
question.
site.
Yes, ma'am.
Is your free streaming Crackle? Because
No.
that's the only free streaming I know about.
No.
Do you guys know about Crackle?
There-
Yes.
yes.
So like that's the only free one I know about. I'm
yeah.
intrigued to hear what your.
I have a new. Do you want to hear about it now?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Free streaming by Jeff.
I know that's like where what?
Sorry,
So-
I just had to work in an intro. I was getting bored, so.
Nicely done.
There is a little bit of a catch to it.
Uh-oh.
Then it's not free.
It is free. It's called Hoopla. Hoopla, right?
Okay.
So you aware of this, Steve?
Yes. Yep.
So it's through your library. So what they've done is they've partnered up with a bunch of libraries, and if you live here in the Phoenix area, the Maricopa County Library System.
I do know about it now that you say it. My mom does it, and I
Okay.
always thought I thought it was like, oh, how cute. She probably doesn't, but apparently she's savvy.
Yeah.
Apparently, your mom's tech savvy.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so they've really been rolling it out, and the big thing for them is their big thing is, well, you know, libraries don't do a good job of promoting things, so it's up to us to kind of get the word out, which I thought was interesting because I found out through my library, not through whatever their efforts are.
So it's
Yeah,
not
but
really
you're one of
working.
the few people I know of that goes to a library still.
Right.
Like, I stepped in the library to renew my library card so that I could,
You don't take
rent
Lucas
free
for story
ebooks.
time?
but that's the last time I went to a library. You frequent the library, though, because you rent from it all the time. So
Yeah,
you would see
if
it.
they didn't have
I would
movies,
have
though,
never
I
known
wouldn't
about
go.
Hoopla
Yeah.
because of my library.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it's really cool. So I'm getting excited about. I want to do a review about it, but I haven't gotten into the system too much. I know that basically what they did is they partnered with the libraries and they work with studios. So how it works out is you go and you check out, a movie or whatever. Right now they offer movies, TV shows, and audiobooks.
Oh, okay.
And they're working on ebooks.
Cool.
But they haven't gotten the licensing worked out for that yet.
Okay.
And what it is your library can set up their own parameters. But
Okay.
Our Maricopa County library system here, you can check out 10 items per month.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
And so you can check out 10 items per month, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything.
You just have to have a current library
Email?
card, right?
Right.
Right,
Yep.
because you do have to
So
renew.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
and
and it's
go in and
only
renew mine for my book.
Yeah,
so.
and it's only on I had
1998.
I had to download the app on my iPhone, and I'm sure you can get it for your iPad.
Sure.
I don't know if it's on PC. If you can stream it through there, and obviously they don't have it for TVs and stuff like that.
Right.
But if you have Google Chromecast or whatever it's called,
Okay.
or TV or one of those things, you can stream it that way.
All right.
And it's as many checkouts as you can. So if, let's say, one of the big things, the selling point is if someone has your movie checked out in the actual library, you can't then check it out.
I see.
But that's not an issue here. And, there can be as many as you want.
Digital copies.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they have. So I've been perusing through the library. I'll write a review or something on our blog whenever I can play around with it a little bit more.
Okay.
But it's a decent selection. Carly, you will be happy to know that they have the Jetsons movie available to stream there.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'll go through and just read off some of the things that that I added. In terms of TV shows, I found this old cartoon from the 80s called Cops that I haven't seen in like forever.
Okay.
And Ghostbusters.
Right.
Heathcliff and Inspector Gadget, like some old stuff like
my
that.
God, Inspector Gadget.
The Super Mario and Zelda cartoons and stuff are on there, the Littles. So there's some like cool like little 80s stuff on there, right?
Okay.
In terms of movies, let's see. They don't have like a queue, but you can like favorite things.
Okay.
So it ends
okay.
up in this big kind of master
Yeah.
queue. In terms of movies, let's see what I got on here. I've got Friday the 13th.
Oh, Lord. I don't do scary.
Jetsons, the movie, I do have that in there. Life Stinks, this old Mel Brooks movie. Pitch Black. They have my favorite. Okay, so my favorite like book series growing up when I was a kid was the Boxcar Children.
Oh yeah, okay.
So so apparently they made a cartoon movie out of the first book. So I added that in the queue. But I also added they have a bunch of the audiobooks of the actual books.
That's awesome.
Court Jester. So documentary on Flip Wilson. And in terms of books, I have some C.S. Lewis books in there, some Boxcar Children books. There's some comedy books.
Audiobooks are right up your alley too, so
Yeah,
this is perfect for you.
Book on meditation. They have a lot of like workout stuff. They have a lot of like a lot of the popular books, like the Hunger series, Divergent series. A lot of those things are all in there in the audio section. So they have a decent selection of things.
Well,
Good to
we'll have
know.
to check it out. All right, your goal then is to check this thing out and let me know because I do need to renew my library card if I'm going to use that because it did expire.
Yeah, so it is pretty. I was reading. My phone's locked up now. But,
well, that sucks to be you.
But I was reading. Yeah, they had like 10,000 pieces of media like right now to stream. So something like that.
It's no Netflix, but at least it's free.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that.
All right,
So
awesome,
Hoopla.
Blossom. Okay, I got a second base. Do you have a film history?
Yeah.
Carly and I both have some obsessions.
Yeah.
And then I've got a speed round. Do you have a speed round, Jeff?
Yep.
Do you have a speed round, Carly?
No, we better get rolling then.
All right, let's rock and roll with this. What do we want next, Jeff? Paper, rock, scissors. Who's going?
How about
Okay, I win.
You win.
Second base for $1.
That was way too slow.
This is a little segment we like to call How to Get to Second Base for $1. Oh, yeah.
I'll make this quick. This is a movie that Jeff has already seen, so he can agree or disagree with me on whether it's second base worthy. But this is a purely comedy, not a romantic movie. But here's my premise. This kind of movie, if you want to get in my pants, you better laugh at it. Okay, is what my thought is. So if the girl can't laugh at this kind of comedy, I don't want to be with her. Right. So, and this movie is Bad Words with Jason Bateman.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Now it's great, and it is bad comedy. The quick premise is he finds a loophole to where he can be in a spelling bee because technically he never graduated 8th grade.
Yes.
So he's in a spelling bee around a whole bunch of other kids, 10-year-old kids, and he's just cheating, but they can't get him to stop because he's technically following the rules of the book
he can still
legally.
be doing
Just
it.
don't like. I haven't finished it yet though, so don't.
Okay, I won't ruin
Okay.
the ending because it
All
is
right.
an awesome ending too.
Yeah.
But the stuff he says and does to these 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds and whatever to make them cry, and it's great, like dark comedy is what
Yeah,
it is.
Carl said it's like the best movie. It's excellent.
It is totally excellent. So Carl and I can get into each other's pants with this movie.
Wow.
So there you go.
Pleasant thought.
Yeah. The one cool thing I'll bring up, and then I'm going to move on. Jason Bateman, this was his directorial debut.
Right.
When he wanted to do this movie, he actually had 2 other people in line to star in it that passed it up and didn't want to. So that's when he just decided to star in it himself.
Really?
I thought the other way around. I just thought, okay, I'm going to direct myself and star myself and blah,
Right.
blah, blah. No, I
Like
couldn't
cool as
figure
Zach
out.
Braff?
Yeah, like I couldn't figure out who the 2 were. I looked all over.
Really?
But yeah, they were talking about on IMDb that, yeah, there was 2 other people that he wanted to do that beforehand. And so, but yes, great job for his directorial debut, great dark comedy, and I figure if that's what you need to find, a comedy that she can laugh at, that's the girl to be around with. So
That's
my rule of thumb.
Tiffany laugh at the movie?
she loved it, yes.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, should I?
Yeah.
It was fun.
You're like, maybe I shouldn't ask
So,
that question.
anyways, let's move on. Oh. So there you go. Quick, simple, to the point. That's my second base.
Cool.
All right. Jeff, that was your challenge. I think that might have been a 90-second second base to the dollar.
Wow.
So you have 120 seconds to film history me.
Let's go, starting now.
He's not even ready yet.
Nope.
He's
Not
Googling,
surprised.
trying to figure out.
It's time for This Week in Film History.
Okay, so my film history, I'm actually starting to teach a screenwriting course at Grand Canyon University this year, which is part of the reason why I watched Witness, because I remember that being brought up in a lot of my writing stuff that I'd read, right? Mm-hmm. So I looked up the 101 greatest screenplays from the WGA, so the Writers Guild of America, so writers voting on what they think is best.
Okay.
Which is interesting to compare this to like the Art Institute, right? What they think are the most, right? So there's a little bit more commercial value, I think, to this, which is pretty cool. A few observations. William Goldman is in here 3 times. Once for an original story, one for a story that he adapted from somebody else, and one for a screenplay he wrote based on a book he wrote.
So Princess Bride, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, and what's the other one?
All the President's
Men.
Men.
The President's Men, okay.
Right. So that was pretty cool. So here I'll just give you the top 11. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was actually number 11. Mm-hmm. The Godfather Part 2 is 10. Some Like It Hot, Network, Sunset Boulevard, Annie Hall, All About Eve, Citizen Kane. Number 3 is Chinatown. Number 2 is The Godfather. And number 1, anyone want to take a guess?
No, but Princess Bride.
Casablanca. Yes.
Jeff.
So very good.
Nice.
So I think it's great. I've done so much research on Casablanca. I would agree that that's the top one. It's such a good film in terms of it's funny, it's dramatic, it's romantic, it's got action, it's everything you could want in a movie. It's moving. So it's just got all those great story, great character arcs, great mystery, great act structure, and all that stuff. So I want to ask you guys, if you were going to pick a movie based on its writing, the best story, the best screenplay, the best story arc, whatever you care about in a story, what would be your top story in a movie?
Garden State, probably.
Garden State? And why is that?
For everything you just said, I have to think that that's exactly how I feel about that one.
Okay.
Particularly, it's the first one that came off my head. I mean, I always want to go to the Royal Tenenbaums, but with everything you just said, that would be my best pick.
Okay.
Man, that's a really good one. So I didn't even have anything off the top of my head. I mean, So, yeah.
Sam, anything come to mind for you?
I don't either. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Because if you just talk about story, it's like, oh, wait. I like movies because they got action in them or because they got this or that. And story, it's like, I really need to think about that one.
Mm-hmm. So here's another question then. If you're going to go see a movie and you're going to see a story that attracts you, what is it about the story that sucks you in? Or obviously there could be a lot of things, but what's like maybe your linchpin that's like, I'm a sucker for that?
Like after the end of the movie, like what is it that I loved so much about it?
Yeah.
Like it would be like where it's open-ended and I like walking away from a movie where I can see it totally different than the person that's sitting next to me.
Okay.
Like I really like, and that sometimes that means that it's not a happy ending type of thing, And
Right.
so that's the kind of movie that one gets me really going, when I can question something like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I misunderstood that question because I thought
Well, Steve just interpreted it that way. It might be.
I interpret it in the way like I connect the best when movies are about like for me how I connect and when they're kind of like a abstract view of life for the director or the writer's perspective. That's where I connect the most with films.
Okay. Sam?
I like movies that that I can't guess what's going to happen.
Right.
Because today, with the big budgets, and everybody's so safe, and there's a certain, you got to hit this and hit that and hit this and hit that, and it's like most movies, what's going to happen about a quarter of the way through, right? So when something hits me from left field and I go, okay, I did not see that coming. I like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
like that kind of movie.
Excellent.
So
Yeah, one thing I kind of realized about the stories that I liked, I was chatting with someone online about films, and I realized that a lot of the movies I liked as a kid, I think I was talking to someone about Tron. I was like, a lot of the movies I loved as a kid was movies that would take me out of my ordinary life and take me on some sort of adventure, like in some world made at
Different
right.
world, yeah.
So take me to Never Never Land or the world of Tron or Jurassic Park or whatever. And I think that that's still an evolved sense of something like that, something that sort of takes me out of the ordinary humdrums of life and some great adventure somewhere. You can sort of live vicariously through. Okay, all right, I'm done.
All right, nicely done. Let's obsess.
Let's do it.
obsession.
I still picture like horses in slow motion on a beach, in
yes.
black and white. It has to be black and white with someone's stupid hair. It could be a male or a female, like in the wind in slow mo, and
Oh, it's
then
gotta
some,
be Michael
and then
Bolton.
all of a sudden some cheesy like fragrance comes up. Obsessions.
Obsessions. Carly, how do you want to roll with this one?
Well, I have a top 10 of Joseph Gordon-Levitt in lieu of him winning a Grammy for his show Hit Record, which for my birthday I got a Hit Record shirt with the Hit Record red button, which I'm really
Well,
psyched about.
awkwardly enough, I have Joseph Gordon-Levitt on my obsessions.
I think we're just going to have to join forces.
So we might have to join forces. I only have 4, though, but I'm really excited about my number 4.
Okay.
Okay, I'm excited to see if there's any crossover here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that will be interesting.
Okay.
Well, I have my 10.
All right,
so-
do your 10. You got the most.
Get rolling.
Let's do this.
All right, top 10 JGL facts. In 1998, he actually directed his own film called Sparks. It's a 24-minute short film, and it was premiered at Sundance 09 at the film festival. Okay. James Franco was originally set for the role in Inception. Is that one of yours?
No,
Oh.
it's not. I do know
but he
these
turned
facts,
it
but-
down, and then JGL actually stepped in. As most of you probably know, he did tons of commercials as a kid, like Pop-Tarts, Cocoa Puffs, and he was also in Street Fighter 2 Machine. I don't know if you guys knew that. He takes epic selfies. If anyone is interested, I follow him in like all the accounts possible. He's an excellent singer. Sometimes I'm not sure if I want to date him or be him. His favorite book is also my favorite book, which is Catcher in the Rye. I just said it, but his hit record won an Emmy. First TV role was age 7 in a Vietnam drama called Stranger in My Land. And he majored in French at Columbia University after taking a year off after high school. Wow. Random.
Nicely done. Was that your 10?
That's 10.
Nice. We only had one similar one then. I've got 3 different ones.
What's the one similar?
My similar one was the Street Fighter 2 arcade
Okay.
machine. Because that's what, to do the
80s.
commercials as a child, that's what his parents were like, all right, you can buy whatever you want. So he bought a Street Fighter 2 arcade machine with his money from his commercials. Yeah, because he didn't want to do them. Mine, following the death of his fire-juggling brother Mike in 2010, Joseph inherited his siblings' collection of unpaired socks and decided that he would continue his brother's trend of
Yeah.
wearing mismatched socks on his feet, and has ever since.
I knew that. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, that was real cool. Joseph Gordon-Levitt explained in a 1998 interview that he ended up with the last 2 names because his parents were hippies and didn't think it was necessary for the woman to lose her last name.
That's awesome.
Joseph got Gordon from his mom and Levitt from his dad. This is my favorite one. I found the YouTube video for it, and I will be posting this. In 2007, JGL was a paparazzo for a day. He reversed the roles
saw
and
that.
recorded the paparazzi that were taking pictures of him. And if you don't mind excessively foul language, it's actually really cool, and he made it into a documentary called Pictures of Assholes. It's like only 3
It's
minutes
good,
long,
though. It's
but it's
good.
great. And he goes and they
Puts
the
it in perspective.
paparazzi are getting mad that he's got a camera on them. It's so good. Yeah, it's only 3 minutes long, but it's great. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, so there's our JGLs.
Obsessions. That's it's a first obsession where we just kind of had we're middle of the road there.
And I'm glad we had a few different ones, so there we go.
That was
Lots of
pretty
good stuff.
cool.
I will tell you that, yeah, I've read that one about James Franco passing, and
Yeah.
I'm so glad because I just completely refell in love with JGL in Obsession.
Oh, really?
In Inception, yeah. Yeah. Loved his character in that, his part in that. So,
Who has speed round today?
I've got a speed round.
I got a speed round.
Mine's pretty much
Ooh.
80s themed, and I will
Awesome.
speed round any one of you in here.
Mine is 80s themed too.
Oh, boom. Okay.
I think Steve and I are waiting for Carly to tell us how this is going to work, but she's really
I
into
thought
that.
you would
I'm
hit play,
coloring.
and
I'm
because Carly's coloring.
coloring.
So since you and I,
Okay,
Jeff,
yeah, forget it, Carly. All right, here we go. All right, Steve and I, let's you and me.
we're gonna have to fucking confiscate her crayons next time.
Maybe
and her
it's better
pencils.
if I'm not on the show.
Man.
No, I want someone to question me.
Okay, well that's what I was
I
gonna say,
think-
Jeff. Why don't you and I question Sammy and Carly?
Oh,
Ooh, I like that.
You know, I've
so
got.
she doesn't have to pay attention, but she can still participate in the question.
I might
You're-
be punished.
Are,
Am I
are
being
you?
punished
Is she in the corner
for
right
doing
now? Is this
80s
what's-
work on our 80s show?
It's
Yeah.
80s coloring, which is they can't visually see what you're doing. Like,
Oh,
you
they
realize
will.
this is an audio
Oh,
thing.
they will. Each page will be on our.
Oh, my
Oh, Instagram
gosh.
that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Instagram the shit out of your
Okay.
coloring.
All right, you know, that works.
What do you want to do? You want to do? Okay.
Let me do Sam because I'm too upset about
You're
this
too pissed at
situation.
Carly.
Oh,
Okay, why don't
Lord,
you
have
start off
mercy.
with speed round, Sam?
Oh, brother. Okay.
All right, Sam, your 80s themed questions.
Okay.
I had put some questions about who you want your girlfriend to be, but I didn't know who I was going to be answering questions to, so I also have some boyfriend questions in here.
Awesome.
So
I'll do
we'll
my
work
best.
around that the best way we can.
I'll do my best.
If you had questioned Steve, it would have worked out fine. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have had to preface
Indeed.
anything, but because it's Sammy, you got to preface it with that.
Yeah.
I see
I'll
where
roll
it's
with
at.
it. Whatever.
All right, here we go. You ready, Sam?
I think so.
All right. Who would you rather spend a day with, Alf or B.A. Baracus?
Baracus.
All right. Who would you rather be your girlfriend, Jem or Lady Jane from G.I. Joe?
Lady Jane, didn't I say she was hot?
Excellent.
Even for a cartoon.
Who would you rather? Here we go. Who would you rather your boyfriend be, Murdoch from the A-Team or Screech from Saved by the Bell?
Oh, Murdoch.
All right, you
Yeah,
get choice.
totally.
That was the correct answer.
Steve, will you let me
I'm
answer,
sorry.
please?
I'm sorry.
All right. Which cartoon girl would you rather go out with, Gadget from Rescue Rangers or April O'Neil from the Ninja Turtles?
April.
Okay. Another boyfriend question: Chip or Dale?
Oh my,
Oh my
goodness.
gosh. Chip, I guess.
All right. Good.
He actually had me. He's like, okay, Chip.
Yeah.
All right.
whatever.
Which Ninja Turtle would you be?
Raphael.
All right. Who would win in a race? General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard or Kit from the Knight Rider?
General Lee.
All right.
Yeah, totally.
Ding ding ding. Another correct answer. Who would win in a fight? Kit or Airwolf?
Airwolf,
Airwolf. All right.
because he's got the height advantage.
Yeah. All right. It's 1987, and you're watching Sunday night NBC movie. Are you watching Adventures in Babysitting? Again, I don't know who's going to be answering this. The Brave Little Toaster, Ernest Goes to Camp, or RoboCop?
RoboCop.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ernest Goes to
RoboCop.
Camp.
I know.
Steve,
It's a great one.
this is my freaking
Don't ruin it for Sam.
whatever
My freaking whatever.
stealing
speed
his
round.
The Wonder Years or Boy Meets World?
Wonder Years.
Agreed.
The shit hits the fan. Who do you call? MacGyver, Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote, the Miami
didn't
Vice
know.
Detectives, the A-Team, or Michael Knight?
MacGyver.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if you said Chuck Norris? Wait, that wasn't an option.
It's like, wait a minute.
Who would you rather, if you had a brother?
Chuck Norris. Oh, sorry.
I know you've never had a real brother,
Okay.
but if you had one, would you rather be Bart Simpson or Milhouse?
Bart.
All right. In Full House, would you be Joey, Danny, or Jesse?
Joey.
All right. Very good. That's it.
Oh,
All right. All
man.
right.
Good one.
Nice, man.
That was a long one.
That was a
Holy
lot of 80s
cap.
stuff,
I thought it was like
man.
lieutenant. Yeah, that was good.
Carly, can
like
I get 40% of your attention for?
Okay.
All right. Speed round.
Okay.
Would you like better on your man, Tom Selleck's mustache or Mr. T's beard?
Oh, that's awful, but the mustache.
Would you rather hang out at a playground with Punky Brewster or Alf?
Punky Brewster.
Would you go on a dinner date with Betty White or B. Arthur?
Betty White. Meaning yes. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Sorry about that.
Do you want to be able to go to a bar where everyone knows your name?
Of course I do.
Could you pull off wearing Daisy Dukes?
If you're into big bottoms.
Would you rather drive Kit from Knight Rider or the van from the A-Team?
Oh, the van.
Would you rather live with the family from Family Ties or the family from Who's the Boss?
Ugh, I guess who's the boss?
You get pulled over in the 1980s for speeding. Would it be the Miami Vice cops or the 21 Jump Street cops?
The 21 Jump Street cop.
And was Saved by the Bell a 1980s show?
No, I think it was 90s, but I hate Saved by the Bell, so don't care.
Wow. F you, Steve. 1989. All right, here we go. That was it. I do have a question for you, Jeff. Favorite Ninja Turtle? Or would you be? Because this was Raphael.
Yeah, it wasn't favorite. It was which Ninja Turtle would you be?
Yeah.
Yeah, Raphael.
Oh, really? Mine was Donatello. What was yours, Carly?
I liked the rat.
Oh, okay.
What was his name?
Splinter.
Splinter. I liked the rat.
Okay.
The wise old rat.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Okay, did we learn? Okay, so what we've learned, I want to just wrap this episode up here,
gosh,
okay?
here
We're
we go.
done, right? We got all of our segments out of
More
the way.
80s.
He's trying to take away here.
What did we learn today?
What did we
boys?
learn today, children?
Carly likes to color.
Boys and girls.
Yes,
Hello, boys
okay,
and
good. I'm
girls.
glad she brought that up so I didn't have
Mr.
to.
Robinson's neighborhood.
That the Jeffersons are different.
Yeah, Jeffersons and Jetsons are different. We've established
We have
that.
established that. Okay.
Moving on up to the galactic side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, moving on up.
That would be fun. I would like
A
to see
mashup?
the
A mashup,
of
yes.
the Jeffersons.
You could do that with a
That'd be
ton of 80s shows.
Oh, you could.
Mashups.
Great. All right. I don't know. I don't know what I've learned. I feel like I'm being ignored by Carly. And I stepped all over Sammy's toes by answering questions during his speed round.
We did have similar answers once again, though.
We did.
There was a few in there that were similar.
Yeah.
So that's
I
kinda-
do think that my
kinda
last
creepy.
podcast speed round, that was awesome. That was epic.
Yeah, I do. I am gonna get. I'm a little bit behind on our on our blogs on the 80s, but I am excited about the rest of these.
Well, all right. Beautiful. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes.
Watch Quick Draw. Color if it makes you feel good.
Do you have orange? Do you have orange? An orange colored pencil?
I know she's asked for orange juice. She needs an orange colored
God.
pencil.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to.
Okay, I'll ask a random question, too. Steve, could you wear Daisy Dukes?
I could pull it off. I think I could pull it off. Yeah.
I don't want to
The
see
conversation is clearly turning into off
air.
stuff.
We better get that outro
I got to
going.
crap everybody. So, here we go.
that. The end music here. The 12A podcast is produced by 12A Productions and distributed by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. To learn more about the podcast or to see what other projects the 12A team is working on, check out 12aproductions.com.
Here's a scary thought. I do think I still have those shorts, Jeff, from that one thing we did that are like Daisy Dukes.
Okay.
I
I'm
found
stopping.
an orange.
I'm stopping the recording.
This has been another great presentation of the 4-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch more shows at 4eyedradio.com.